Welcome to the show, everybody. We're talking about heartbreak. We're talking about devastation. We're talking about collapse. The kind of moments that make you question why you ever got into sports in the first place. The kind of moments that make you want to throw your remote at the TV and swear off basketball forever. But let's be honest, these are also the moments that keep us coming back for more. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat are two sides of the same coin, and today, we're flipping that coin to the dark side. That's right, you already know what it is. We're diving into the gut-wrenching, heart-stopping, mind-boggling moments that define the Final Four. The moments that make you sit back and say, did that really just happen? The moments that turn players into legends or leave them haunted by what could have been. We're diving deep into the biggest choke jobs in Final Four history. We're talking about the games where everything was on the line, and somehow it all fell apart. The games where the pressure was too much, and the dreams of glory turned into nightmares of regret. These are the stories that live on in infamy, the games that are replayed over and over in the minds of fans and players alike. These are the moments that make you question everything, the moments that make you wonder how a team that seems so unstoppable could fall apart so completely. The moments that make you feel the pain of the players and the fans as if it were your own. These are the moments that remind us that in sports nothing is ever guaranteed. The ones that make you want to rip your hair out and scream at the TV. The ones that make you want to throw your hands up in frustration and ask, why? Why did it have to end like this? The ones that make you feel like you were right there on the court, experiencing every missed shot, every turnover, every heartbreaking moment. The ones that leave you speechless, wondering how in the world it all went so wrong. The ones that make you sit in stunned silence, unable to comprehend what just happened. The ones that make you feel like the world has been turned upside down, and nothing will ever be the same again. We're talking about teams that had it all within their grasp, only to let it slip through their fingers like sand on the beach. Teams that were so close to victory they could taste it, only to have it snatched away in the cruelest of ways. Teams that will forever be remembered not for their triumphs, but for their collapses. So buckle up. Get ready for some serious March Madness misery, because we're about to relive some of the most painful losses in college basketball history. We're about to take you on a journey through the highs and lows, the hopes and dreams, the heartbreaks and the horrors. We're about to show you what it means to come so close to greatness, only to have it all fall apart. Welcome to our countdown of the biggest Final Four choke jobs in men's March Madness history, the moments that left fans in shock and teams in tears. The moments that will be remembered for years to come as some of the most dramatic and devastating in the history of the sport. These are the moments that left fans in shock and teams in tears. Let's dive in. Get ready to relive the agony, the heartbreak, and the devastation of the biggest Final Four choke jobs in men's March Madness history. This is going to be a ride you won't forget. 2025 National Championship Game. Cincinnati, the two-time defending champs, are rolling. They're up by 15 against Loyola Chicago early in the second half. This thing's over, right? Wrong. Loyola starts chipping away, playing with a fire in their belly. Cincinnati, they went ice cold. Couldn't hit a shot if they were throwing the ball in the ocean. And then, with seconds left, the Ramblers hit the shot. The buzzer beater heard round the world. Vic Rouse, remember the name. Cincinnati, the mighty Bearcats, stunned. Loyola, the Cinderella story, pulls off one of the greatest upsets in NCAA tournament history. You talk about choking? This was like trying to swallow a basketball whole. A complete and utter meltdown for the ages. Cincinnati fans, I know you're still hurting, but hey, that's March Madness for you. Fast forward to 1998. The stage was set for an epic showdown in the NCAA championship game. The Utah UTEs, a team that had defied expectations all season, were up against the Kentucky Wildcats, a powerhouse with a storied history. Fans from both sides filled the arena, their excitement palpable, as they anticipated a clash for the ages. Utah, led by the sharpshooting Andre Miller, were cruising against Kentucky. Miller, with his incredible court vision and scoring ability, orchestrated the offense with precision. The UTEs were executing their game plan flawlessly, moving the ball with ease and finding open shots. Up 12 early in the second half, they looked like world beaters. The crowd was in awe as Utah seemed to be in complete control, their confidence growing with every basket. The UTE's defense was stifling, making it difficult for Kentucky to find any rhythm. But then, something clicked for Kentucky. The Wildcats, known for their resilience, began to find their groove. It was as if a switch had been flipped, and suddenly, they were playing with a renewed sense of urgency and determination. They started playing like their hair was on fire. The intensity on the court was palpable as Kentucky ramped up their defensive pressure and began to attack the basket with ferocity. The Wildcats were diving for loose balls, contesting every shot, and making life difficult for the UTEs. Scott Padgett, Jeff Shepard, they couldn't miss. Padgett was hitting clutch shots from beyond the arc, while Shepard was slicing through the defense with ease. Their performance was nothing short of spectacular as they led the Wildcats on a furious comeback. Every time Utah looked up, Kentucky was draining threes, grabbing rebounds, and playing lockdown defense. The Wildcats' relentless effort on both ends of the floor was paying off, and the momentum had clearly shifted in their favor. The UTEs, they just couldn't handle the pressure. As Kentucky's defense tightened, Utah's offense began to falter. The once confident UTEs were now struggling to find open looks and were forced into taking difficult shots. They started turning the ball over, missing shots they usually make. The pressure was mounting, and the UTEs were making uncharacteristic mistakes. Turnovers and missed opportunities were becoming all too common, and the game was slipping away from them. It was like watching a slow-motion train wreck. The once dominant Utah team was now unraveling before everyone's eyes. The players' frustration was evident, and the fans could only watch in disbelief as the game continued to spiral out of control. Kentucky completes the comeback, wins the championship. The Wildcats' incredible resilience and determination had paid off, and they were now the champions. The celebration was on, as the players and fans reveled in their hard-fought victory. Utah, left wondering what the heck hit them. The UTEs were left to ponder what went wrong, as they had come so close to victory only to see it slip away. The disappointment was palpable, and the players could only reflect on the missed opportunities. Listen, I'm a Kentucky fan, but even I gotta admit, Utah choked that one away. It was a game that will be remembered for years to come, not just for Kentucky's incredible comeback, but also for Utah's heartbreaking collapse. They had the game in their hands and they let it slip right through their fingers. The UTEs will always wonder what could have been, but for Kentucky, it was a night of triumph and celebration. Now let's talk about recent history, the 2023 Final Four. This was a tournament filled with surprises, upsets, and unforgettable moments. The atmosphere was electric, with fans from all over the country gathering to witness the pinnacle of college basketball. The stakes were high and the tension was palpable. Florida Atlantic, the Cinderella Darlings, are up big on San Diego State in the second half. This team, which many had written off at the start of the season, had defied all odds to make it this far. Their journey was nothing short of miraculous, and they were playing with a confidence that belied their underdog status. They're playing with house money, right? Every shot they made, every defensive stop, it felt like destiny was on their side. The fans were on their feet, cheering their hearts out, believing that this fairy tale would have a happy ending. They're supposed to be happy to be there, but they're ballin'. They're not just content with making it to the Final Four, they want to win it all. Their energy is infectious, and it seems like nothing can stop them. San Diego State, though, they're battle-tested. This is a team that has faced adversity all season long. They've been in tough spots before and have always found a way to claw their way back. Their coach is a master strategist, and he's not about to let this game slip away without a fight. They're not going away quietly. You can see the determination in their eyes. They start tightening up their defense, making it harder for Florida Atlantic to get easy shots. The momentum slowly begins to shift. They start chipping away at the lead, little by little. Each basket they make brings them closer, and the crowd can feel the tide turning. The tension in the arena is palpable as the clock ticks down. Florida Atlantic, the pressure starts getting to them. The shots that were falling earlier are now rimming out. The players are looking over their shoulders, feeling the weight of the moment. The coach is trying to keep them calm, but you can see the concern on his face. They start making mistakes, missing free throws. The nerves are getting to them, and the once confident team is now second-guessing every move. The crowd's energy shifts, sensing the impending collapse. And then, with time winding down, San Diego State hits the dagger. Lamont Butler, bang, game over. The arena erupts as the San Diego State players celebrate. It's a moment of pure elation for them, a testament to their resilience and determination. Florida Atlantic's magical run comes to a screeching halt. The players are in disbelief, the fans are heartbroken. It's a cruel end to what was an incredible journey. That's the thing about March Madness, man. It's a roller coaster of emotions. One moment you're on top of the world, the next you're at the bottom. It's what makes this tournament so special, yet so heartbreaking. It can break your heart in an instant. The dreams of a championship, the hopes of a community, all dashed in a single moment. But that's also what makes the victories so sweet, the triumphs so memorable. One minute you're on top of the world, the next you're picking up the pieces of a shattered dream. It's the beauty and the agony of March Madness, a reminder that in sports, as in life, nothing is guaranteed. Let's rewind to 1994. Florida, led by the dynamic duo of Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley, are rolling. They're up big on Duke in the second half. But Duke, they're a team that never gives up. They start chipping away at the lead, and Florida starts to feel the pressure. The Blue Devils, they were relentless. They just kept coming and coming, wave after wave. Florida, they couldn't handle the heat. Duke completes the comeback, wins the game. Florida, they're left wondering what could have been. Listen, I'm a Duke fan, but even I gotta give Florida credit. They played their hearts out. But in the end, it was Duke's experience and championship pedigree that prevailed. 1989, Duke's riding high. They're up by 18 on Seton Hall at halftime. It's looking like a coronation. But then, the Pirates came out with a vengeance in the second half. They were hitting everything, playing like a team possessed. Duke, they had no answers. They looked stunned, like they couldn't believe what was happening. Seton Hall completes the greatest comeback in Final Four history. Duke, they're left to pick up the pieces of what should have been an easy win. This was a collapse of epic proportions, a total and complete meltdown. Duke, they choked that game away harder than a competitive eater at a hot dog eating contest. 1992, Indiana, a team loaded with talent. They're up on Duke, looking like they're about to punch their ticket to the championship game. But Duke, they had other plans. They started chipping away at the lead, and Indiana started to unravel. The Hoosiers, they couldn't handle Duke's pressure defense. They turned the ball over, missed shots, and generally looked out of sorts. Duke completes the comeback, wins the game. Indiana, they're left to wonder what might have been. This was a classic case of a team choking under pressure. Indiana had all the talent in the world, but they couldn't handle the moment. 2012 Ohio State, led by Jared Sullinger, they're rolling. They're up big on Kansas at halftime. But Kansas, they're a team that knows how to win. They start chipping away at the lead, and Ohio State starts to feel the pressure. The Jayhawks, they were relentless. They just kept coming and coming, wave after wave. Ohio State, they couldn't handle the heat. Kansas completes the comeback, wins the game. Ohio State, they're left wondering what could have been. Listen, I'm a Kansas fan, but even I gotta give Ohio State credit. They played their hearts out. But in the end, it was Kansas's experience and championship pedigree that prevailed. We've seen some epic choke jobs tonight. These games, they remind us that March Madness is a cruel mistress. One minute you're on top of the world, the next you're picking up the pieces of a shattered dream. But that's what makes it so great. The unpredictability, the drama, the heartbreak, it's all part of the madness. So the next time you're watching the Final Four and your team's up big, don't get too comfortable. Because as we've learned tonight, anything can happen in March Madness. Thanks for watching. Which choke job do you think was the most heartbreaking? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more March Madness content.